Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar this side and welcome to Chemistry Universe. You're watching part 16 of the aldehyde and ketone series. And in this, I'm going to use three reactions. One is called the Schmidt reaction, the other is called the Tishenko reaction, and the other is with chloroform. So these are quite important reactions on their own. And so I'm mixing all the three because each of them are pretty small in themselves. So rather than making a video of just a few minutes, I thought I'll just combine these three. They've got nothing similar to each other in that sense, but these are pretty important reactions. So let's get on with the video. All right. So first, let's look at the Schmidt reaction. And here, what you do is you get an aldehyde reacting with HN3. Okay. So aldehyde reacting with HN3 in the presence of sulfuric acid. And this particular HN3 is called hydrozoic acid, by the way. You get a cyanide with the release of nitrogen gas. But remember, with aldehyde and ketone, both you get different type of products. This is the product with aldehyde, whereas the product with the ketone is slightly different. So you have sulfuric acid here, but you get a N-substituted amide. Very similar to what you got in the case of Beckmann rearrangement and again release of N2. So the mechanisms are slightly different for both and you'll understand why. So mechanism with aldehyde. So obviously, when you have an aldehyde with H+, what do you think will happen? Guess? And if you have guessed it, write the product now. Pause the video, write the product. Pretty obvious. The lone pair takes the H+ and you get this. What do you think will happen next? Obviously, we'll draw the resonating structure of this. So this goes here and you get electrophilic carbon. Now HN3 looks like this. And I can make as many resonating structures as I want for HN3. I'm making this one. So what do you think will happen now? Try and guess and make the product. Pause the video, make the product. And then after you make the product, play the video back. Pretty obvious. This will attack here. And you get this. Wish this was the final product, but it's not. So this is where things change. Remember, the product is a cyanide. There is no O here. So I want to get rid of O. That means OH. How do I do that? One of the simplest ways is make this proton go to this OH. It doesn't have to be the most acidic H. It doesn't mean that the NH is more acidic than the OH or something like that. It doesn't mean that. It just means that intramolecular proton exchanges keep happening. And this is what you get. Now, what do you think will happen now? Guess, you have OH2 plus, a good leaving group. Pause the video, make the product. This goes out as water and you get this. Now, obviously, there is a lone pair on N and there's a C plus. There is very good possibility that you're going to get a resonating structure which will complete the octet of carbon and you'll get something like this. Now remember, you need to get rid of this N2 gas. At the same time, you need to get C triple bond N, okay? So one of the ways of doing that is, and so you make this bond go here. So that relieves one bond here. And you're going to get something like this. Now, ideally, what has happened is that this arrow is slightly wrongly made. It should be this way. Okay, it should be this way. And that way you will get the plus retained on N. So eventually, this bond will shift. It will lose the H plus, meaning this bond will come like this and this will go like this. And you have RC triple bond N with nitrogen gas being released. Just go through this mechanism once again to get a hang of it. You get a cyanide. For For simplicity's sake, just ask yourself what would be the Beckmann rearrangement of aldehyde with Beckmann rearrangement. Oxime, you form an oxime, and imagine that the H is the one that is opposite to the OH of the oxime. You got a cyanide, right? So that is a way to remember the product. And what did you do in ketone similarly? Now the mechanism with ketone, again, the first step is the same. Again, the same thing. And now I'm not going to make it react with the N minus. I'm in fact going to make it react with the N that is attached to NH. Remember, everything can attack. And eventually the most stable product will give the product. So this goes here. This goes here. This attacks this carbon. What do you think you'll get? You'll get something like this. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this transfer MP and remove water in the process, and I'll get something like this. You'll wonder, okay, where do I get the O of the amide? Well, don't worry, water will still react. So now I'm going to release nitrogen gas, and there is a R prime attacking, and this will attack the N, and you'll get this. And this we know, very similar what you got in Beckmann. So water attacks the carbon, you get this, and the H will shift to, H will be released, I guess, and now the H will shift to N, or you can say tautomerism, and you will get this amide. So again, if you were to ask yourself, okay, which of the R's is going to the nitrogen? The one that would be opposite to this leaving group. Right now I've not made it, but the one that is opposite to the leaving group is the one that will shift to the nitrogen. Same as Beckmann. The next one is called the Tishenko reaction. Now this Tishenko reaction is a very interesting reaction. If you remember the Cannizzaro reaction, we had two aldehydes without alpha H, one getting oxidized to carboxylate ion and the other getting reduced to an alcohol. Now here what you do is you take an aldehyde with alpha H, yet it will show Cannizzaro type reaction, not aldol, Cannizzaro type reaction because the reagents are different. But it will not even show the product of Cannizzaro reaction, it will show you the product of those products. So basically what I'm saying is that, okay, for the time being, assume that carboxylate, instead of carboxylate ion, you get a carboxylic acid in Cannizzaro. Let's assume that carboxylic acid and alcohol. What is the product of acid and alcohol? Carboxylic acid and alcohol. It is an ester. And here we get exactly that. So you take an aldehyde with alpha H, imagine it undergoes Cannizzaro reaction, and imagine you protonate the carboxylate ion, and then you make the alcohol and the carboxylate ion, this carboxylic acid react to form an ester. That is the product of this reaction. So it is a modified Cannizzaro type reaction. All aldehydes undergo this, so you don't need one which does not have alpha H. This reaction in the presence of aluminium ethoxide to form an ester. So basically you have two aldehydes, you have aluminium ethoxide. You don't need to know the mechanism here. Basically you will get an ester of the acid and the alcohol of this very aldehyde, which would be this. If you see the acid of this, it will be RCOOH. The alcohol of this would be RCH2OH. And what will be the ester formed from this? It will be this one. And the next one is the reaction with chloroform. Very simple reaction. You have this and you have chloroform. What do you think will happen? Dilute base. Well, I think simple. The H of the chloroform will go to O and the C will go to C, and you get this, and this is called chlortone. And that is the end of Schmidt-Tishenko chloroform reaction. So I hope this video helped you in understanding these reactions. Watch it as many times as you want, especially the ones where you have mechanisms involved, and also try to figure out a way of having a shortcut to make the product if such a reaction does come by, not depending on the mechanism every time, because using the mechanism will take time, and sometimes you have competitive exams where you don't have much time. So also get the shortcut to make the product, but also know the mechanism so that if you have never seen the reactants before, or are stuck somewhere as to which one is going to migrate, which is going to move, what is the product I'm going to get, the mechanism can help you through with that. So with that, this is Kalyan Kumar signing off. Have a great, wonderful and productive day, and thank you for watching this.